Okay. Hello and good afternoon and evening, everyone. I just want to say thank you all for joining this talk. There has been a lot of great work that went into the new Drupal 9 front-end theme initiative, and I'm really excited to walk you all through the genesis of how this theme was formed, where we are today, and what to expect in the new year. So just a bit about myself. My name is Putra Banakorsi. I've been in the Drupal community for about 8 years now, ever since I was a senior in college. I started my career as a front-end developer, but now recently transitioned into a technical project manager role at Lullabot. I live in Seoul, New Jersey, USA, which is roughly about 25 minutes outside of Philadelphia, if you're familiar with the area. I'm one of the maintainers of the Olivero theme, which is slated to be the new default front-end theme for Drupal 9, and soon will be replacing Vortex as well. Here's a sneak peek of what the theme looks like. So before we look ahead, I just want to quickly walk you all through how we got here today, because every journey, or I should say, Drupal core initiative has a story, and it's good to reminisce on the early stages of the project because there was a lot of legwork that was done before we made the announcement to the community. And this presentation will be a slimmed down version from the presentation that I gave with Mike Hosho at the DrupalCon Global, but I hope that it will still give you all a general sense of the process and also workflow that got us to where we are today as well. So if I had to pinpoint a moment in time where the conversation of the new Drupal 9 theme started, I would have to say the last day of DrupalCon Seattle 2019, which feels a long time ago, in my opinion. So I happened to be in a hotel lobby waiting for a friend to meet up for dinner. While waiting for my friend to show up, I happened to see Mike Hosho, who is my fellow colleague at Lullabot, Larry Escola, and also Angie Barron, who are the Drupal core committers and also product managers as well. In the lobby, we started to have conversation about what makes a good CMS theme, and naturally that led to the discussion of the Drupal 9 status as well. So during the discussion, Mike and I were surprised to find out that there was no initiative in place for Drupal 9 default theme. And we thought that this would be a good opportunity for us to join in and also contribute back to the community as well. And also, having been in the community for a while, we knew that Vortex was created for Drupal 7 and has long served as the default theme. But it's nearly 10 years old, and the design had begun to look a bit outdated, and we feel that it no longer spoke or reflects the modern backend that Drupal ships under the hood. So we want to change that perception and bring something fresh and modern to the front-end theme. For us, our main motivation is to create a good first impression for the user, which is typically the first experience that people get when they first install Drupal. This is the same key point that were discussed in our casual conversation in the hotel lobby, as mentioned earlier as well. What you see here is a look at the very first issue related to the new Drupal 9 theme that we submitted to the community. As you can see, it was authored on June 28th, 2019, which was roughly almost 2 years ago. Time flies. So putting together your initial team. With any big or small initiative, you can't do the work all by yourself. You need a core team that can help bring in new perspectives and also fill in areas that are outside your discipline as well. For my and I to kick off this effort, we need to bring talented folks, and lucky we know a lot of great people. So once we knew that the idea was valid and also sought after by the community, our lead front-end developer started to engage Lullabot designers, Jennifer Kelsey, and also Jared as well too, for the design effort as well. And Kat Shaw, who's has been helping us well with the accessibility, and Matthew Tiff, who ran our weekly Slack meeting as well. Here's a group shot of us at DrupalCon Amsterdam at Dries Note's presentation from last year. So now that we have our team, we're starting to identify stakeholders that will help with the proposal process as well too, which is a key point in us getting tractions and also building excitement for this initiative. So we're starting to ask, like, who would be the person that will make or break our idea, who is the maintainers of the issue that we need to follow up with as well too. So with all that questions in mind, we were able to identify the following stakeholders. Dre's motivation for this initiative is similar to ours. He wants to create a better first impression of Drupal, especially for the users, and G, and also Gabo, who are core committers and product managers. They help us out tremendously by letting us know all the key players that will help advocate for our ideas, and also Christina and also Larry, who were involved in the design process and also help answer questions that we have that help navigate this new world of core contribution for the team. And just here a look at all of us in one of our discovery meetings that we had earlier in the initiative. So now that we have the issue queue created and also identified the core team and stakeholders, it's time to get into the weeds, or what I would say, some of the fun stuff. Here is a screenshot of all the available components within the Vortex theme. We use Dropbox paper to gather all the patterns to help us better understand what we were designing for and features that we feel that's a bit outdated as well too. Once we identify all the key components, we started to create wireframes to review with the stakeholders to ensure that we capture all the important elements as well. And at this point, we created a lot of documentation. So it was good to just have a centralized place that house all the notes from the internal meetings, from our design meetings as well too. This process was really helpful for us to keep track of all the many conversations and makes it easier for us to say no to when something doesn't fit with the overall scope of work of the project as well. So let's talk a little bit about design as well too. Once we felt like we were at a good place with the component documentation and we started to get on board with the design process. This is an exercise called the adjective analysis. It was a great exercise for us to figure out what the stakeholders are thinking when it comes to the tone of voice of the project. On one end is an adjective that can describe the look and feel of the site, and the other end is an adjective that usually conflicts with the first as well too. So from here, we gather up all the design principles that we want out of the theme. We definitely want the theme to be accessible. It's definitely the top priority of the design. We also want to make it simple as well to avoid unnecessary visual elements, colors, effects, and complexity. We want it to look modern, focused, and also flexible as well too. And here are some design explorations that our designers, Jared and Jen, put together. As you can see, we explore different style from traditionals to modern one, and here is the final design that we ended up with for the Olivero theme. Next, we started to thinking about the name of the project, and I don't know about you all, but naming things are a bit difficult, right? However, with the current theme, Vortex being named after Jean Vortex, one of the original programmers, female programmers, we wanted to continue on that tradition and name the theme after a pioneering female programmer as well. So we named the theme after in honor of Rachel Olivero. Rachel had touched many people in both the Drupal and also the accessibility communities. She works for the National Federation of the Blind, and she was committed to making technology accessible for all. And we feel that this theme embodies the patience and generosity that that Rachel showcased as well. So the community announcement. So once the design was in a good place that we feel validated, and some of the complexity within the design element have been sorted out, especially with the header dropdown, we started to draft a proposal for the community and sought feedback for the work that has been done. Here's our issue proposal for the new Drupal 9 theme. As you can see from the earlier slide, there was like a lot of work that went into the proposal and try and get the design review and also key stakeholders And also we've done some prototyping as well too to validate our new features and that were not accounted for in prototype as well too. Overall, the response was overwhelmingly positive, and we were thrilled to and excited to see folks within community energized and also feeling momentum about this initiative as well. So with any initiatives or projects, there are bound to be some challenges that you encounter along the way as well too, and Olivero is no different as well. In these kinds of project, there can be strong temptation to include everything. So it's important for us to draw the line between nice to have versus must have, which can be challenging at times because some of our features that folks ask for are valid. However, it's important for us to stay focused and also looking at core feature that would please the general user as well too. In addition to this being an open source project, there is also a level of work that we need to put in for managing enthusiastic contributors of various skills, and also balancing a full-time work schedule while at the same time trying to find some time to answer questions and also review patches, which can be difficult at times as well, to trying to find free time to work on that area. So those are some of the challenges that we face during the project. Where is the Olivero theme today? So now let's get to the good part here. I just want to walk you through where we are today and what we're actually looking forward to do in the next month or so. So here's this roadmap issue that we created. We started this journey around the beginning of 2019, almost a year and a half ago, and I'm happy to announce that the Olivero theme has now landed in Drupal core 9.10 as the experimental theme. Yay! This is such an incredible milestone, and we could have done this without the amazing folks here who have contributed their free time to the initiative, from designing to community coordination, submitting patches, reviewing, testing issues, and many more. I really couldn't thank you all enough, and I hope I capture all the usernames here and I didn't miss anyone. So here is a sped up video demo of the Olivero theme installed in Drupal core 9.1. This video is a bit jarring. I just want to quickly showcase the different components and features that are available within the Olivero theme, from the secondary drop-down menus to the improved masthead that works great on both desktop and mobile breakpoints, to the other wonderful features that are not available in the current version of the default front-end theme. So now that you've seen a sneak peek of what the theme has to offer, I highly recommend checking out this short link that houses indicative content of what the Olivero theme looks like when enabled in Drupal. I just want to give a huge shout out to the Tugboat team. If you're not familiar with Tugboat, Tugboat is a pull request builder that generates live working websites for every PR and also branches and tags as well too. Through Tugboat, we were able to set up a Drupal multi-site install and has deployed preview for content for folks to view as well. Another thing that I also want to quickly note is that we've done a lot of work with accessibility testing as well too, or ALI. We conducted testing with folks from the Federation of the Blind, and we received awesome feedback from that team. So I'm really happy with this result, and a special thank you to Kat Shaw for coordinating this effort as well. Now that the Olivero theme has been included in core, I'd like to give you all an update on things that we're currently working on and enhancement that we're looking to implement in the future. Right now, we're working hard on making Olivero a stable theme within core. We are already outlining the remaining issues that will get us to the stage where Olivero will be set as the default theme of Drupal 9. I think we're close to meeting this goal. Right now, the majority of the issues are mostly related to code quality, adjusting technical debt, and also bug fixes. If we stay on track, we're looking at Drupal 9.2 as the version that will make Olivero stable and also set as the default theme for Drupal as well too, which is the main goal that we're trying to hit soon. So looking ahead post the stable release, we're definitely excited to dive more into some of the features that we weren't able to get through during the MVP phase of the initiative. One of the requested features that we've seen is definitely the dark mode, which is definitely a trend in the web world. The other feature that we want to showcase or work on is introducing different accent colors that allows editors to pick and choose and edit from, and other possibilities as well too. So as you can see, there are still a lot of work that we need to get done in order to get Olivero stable and also set as the default theme in Drupal core, as well as adding other enhancements as well too. Therefore, we definitely need your help to get this work through the finish line. We have a weekly meeting via the Drupal Slack channel. It's in the 9's theme that you can join and also help us out to in this initiative as well too. I think I ran a little bit late, so I'll just end this presentation with questions and Q&A.
Awesome. So I'm Jen. I'm going to help moderate some questions for Putra here. So we have one from Daniel that came in and he says, the theme looks great. Why did you decide not to include form components? I'm increasingly seeing an interest in forums.
That's actually a great question. And it kind of goes back into the other slides that I mentioned earlier. I think the reason why we didn't include forums is that it's not part of the list of the core features written out MVP. But we understand that, this is a feature that's also being used a lot by other folks as well too. And we do try as best as possible to support like a minimum styling for this. But, if this is something that, you guys are looking to see more in the future, highly recommend submitting a ticket for this, and we can definitely expand on that as well in the issue queue.
Great, thank you, Putra. Another one came from John. He asks, will it be easy to sub-theme?
Great question as well. So Olivero is not designed to be a theme that can be easily sub-theme off. This is not something that we have originally in our MVP phase, but this, again, going back to the form components as well too, if this is something that folks would like to implement as their sign up point when it comes to like sub-theming, this is something that we can definitely look into as well too. So I think we already have an issue for the sub-theme as well too. So I would definitely recommend checking that out and provide your input as well.
Great. So that's all that came in on the panel. We have about 5 minutes left. I'm going to ask a question for you, Putra, and then that will allow time to others to kind of think of questions if they're busy typing them in. So one of the questions I have is, so now being this far down the road, where we're with the theme, still being worked on, but it looks like it's going to make it into core. Anything you would have done to help improve the process now looking back?
Wow, that's a great question. I mean, to be honest with you, I think we've done a lot of work in the beginning stage of the project to identify all the core features that will be included in the MVP phase. So in that part, I think we've done really well, but at the same time, going back to my slide regarding some of the challenges that we face in this project is that, it's tough to really, find time to really dedicate to the project fully. So I would love if we were to be able to, get in